Hello out there. And hey, I got finished listening to Benjamin Dixon, and I know this is going to set some of you a little bit like, "Oh, come on, Benjamin Dixon again." But yeah, he's made a few good points, things that not just because they agree with me, but because they're sensical. And this is episode 638. Conservatives are rewriting history while we're still playing nice. So that title alone, I admit, it was not as much clickbait as it just made sense. So what Benjamin Dixon was saying, in short, was while people on the left, progressives, old school Democrats and whatnot, while everyone is trying to do the right thing and say the right thing and all this other stuff, the conservatives, the Republicans, the GOP, the RNC, and their media biased backers and stuff, they are basically, all they have to do is just spread lies and their base will believe it. It's very partisan. So while we are saying, hey, look, do the right thing, be kind, let's fact check, let's make everything correct, let's be nice. And all the conservatives do is say, look, we're just throw out this lie. In fact, we're going to throw out your fact checking as, a part of why you're bad anyway. And listening to certain things from Young Turks and other things, and Benjamin Dixon, and happenstance CNN or Fox News when something is clickbaity enough, and it takes a lot to make me watch one of those. Conservatives do that. Their hosts, their entertainment anchors and whatnot, they will say it that the liberal bias worry about fact checking where we worry about results. They say stuff like that. So when you think about it, what's the point on, how can I say, fact checking over message spreading? Not to say fact checking should not happen. No, it needs to happen. But while we're trying to convince everyone that already agrees with us of what the right is doing, the right is convincing the right, which is already the majority establishment of this country. If you look at any map, any political map or anything, pollings or voting, or anything like that, or how they feel about certain issues, this country is extremely red and extremely religious. So all the conservatives have to do is say, God wants me to run. God wants this. He wants that. So anyone that is already religious or God-fearing or partisan in their beliefs, they're going to just say he's telling the truth, because if he says God want it, then I have to want it too. They don't need facts. They just need to do that. That's all they have to do. And then you've got those that hate minorities, hate blacks, hate Mexicans, hate Asians, hate the whites that are okay or are, neutral or love those kinds of things. They hate them. So you've got the God-fearing joined with the racist, and that is the mass majority of the country. So if you are okay with LGBTQIA if you're okay with that, you are hated. You're not disagreed with. No, you are hated. If you are okay with or like minorities, you are hated. Benjamin Dixon, when you listen to it, he goes on to basically an Alex Jones tirade, and he's talking about how the right wants to destroy us. And he made maybe a Freudian slip or whatnot, maybe saying that, and maybe if I use that term correctly, I'm not sure, but he slipped and said, they're trying to destroy me, and he says they're trying to destroy us. But the truth is, he's not even on their radar. He's not even on their radar. He's not big enough to be on their radar. However, it's true. Alex Jones and others called for the destruction of the leftist agenda, the progressive agenda. So everything that is forward thinking, critical thinking, and peaceable, they are literally espousing, gathering, and trolling against. I would like to say that Benjamin Dixon just lost his mind, but he has not. And he's like, look, what's the wake up call going to be? That's really what I'm asking. No, he did ask, like, what's it going to take? And I'm like, what's it going to take? I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that for Benjamin Dixon. What will it take for people to wake up and see what the hell is going on? They have to be in it. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Literally, everything about us would have to be under religious rule, which is basically what our politics are anyway. All of our laws are basically bathed in religion, is bathed in hatred, is bathed in segregation, is bathed in all of that stuff. It is. It's bathed in sexism. And you're like, well, how's it bathed in sexism? Because there are laws where they say the female should not be on top. So, I mean, come on. There are whales, I think it's Ohio, that says you can't do whale hunting in Ohio. Like, when's the last whale that walked through Ohio, took a bus, and got hunted down? So, it's stuff like that. I would like to say Benjamin Dixon has lost his mind, but he hasn't. He's just extremely pissed off, extremely passionate, and I think he's starting to burn out. And a lot of people would call for that. But let me throw out one more problem about this, and that is the left, the progressives, the forward thinkers, the critical thinkers. It's not that we aren't high in number or high enough in number. No, that's not it. It's just that we are partisan divided on who we support as leftists, if you want to use that terminology. Oh, I'm a Bernie bro. I support Bernie Sanders. Okay. Well, I support Young Turks, Cenk Uygur. That's where I'm at. Well, I'm Kyle Kalinske. Okay, well, those two are pretty much the same. No, man, Kyle does it different. And then you start that argument. The argument is what stops progression, because while you're arguing over piddly things, you're not uniting under the big picture. Petty arguments don't get major things done. A petty argument is only good if there is a fundamental difference, a strong difference where there must be clarity. For example, of being agnostic or being atheist or being theist. There are arguments of that, major arguments. And it's not that, in truth, it's not that there's not a clear definition. No, there are clear definitions. There are clear examples, but you have one side that's so bathed in one belief, they can't accept that there are others that don't believe. So they have the unending argument, always asserting belief in religion where there are no beliefs or religion. And it's the same when there's a commercial that pops up on YouTube, and it's CRTV, which pissed me off when I saw that. But CRTV, when they say, the left, and they cited that the left is the left media, and the media is anti-American, and they support the left. So that right there is, you see that commercial, you hear that commercial, and you're like, okay, it's un-American. Then everyone wants to cite what is and is not un-American. Even the Young Turks do it. And the truth is, what is American? The majority. What was America found on? I want y'all to really think about that. Just think about that. What is America found on? What was it found on? You know the truth. You know the answer. It was found on genocide. It was found on a religious crusade to destroy and annihilate the Indians. And they thought they found Indians and named these natives, these migrants from China, they named them Indians and committed a genocide. When they landed on the islands not far off, found black people, they committed a genocide. It was a religious crusade to murder, kill, rape, pillage, mutilate anything that's not white. That was it. And it stayed that way. Even like, okay, we don't want to build our own shit, so we're going to get the black people to build it. That's what we're going to do. It was built on slavery. This country was built on slavery. It was built on prostitution because redheads, females who were Scottish and whatnot, the redheads, they got treated poorly. They were pretty much in brothels. That's where they worked. And I mean, Asians and whatnot worked in the mines, for free. Well, no, not for free. They worked to stay alive. So that's what this country was founded on. This country was founded on people that came here in search for riches. So much so they didn't even prepare because they thought they would get here, find everything, and then go back with everything. And they started to starve. They started to mutilate and eat each other. There was cannibalism they started. And then the natives helped them. And in return, they murdered the natives. I'm just saying. That's what this is founded upon. The United States of America is founded on this, and it maintains in this. And even to this day, with ICE and everything else out there, this is what is happening. And while ICE is literally, the Family Values Party is splitting up families. I want y'all to think about that. And then you got people that hate so much, they actually say, well, some have said they're not families. Well, they're not people. Well, they're unlawfully entering our country. So we don't care what happens to them. This isn't your country. If you want to go on what built the country, that would be slaves. That would be black people. That would be Asians in general, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian, it don't matter. That would be the people from Ireland. That'd be people from they'd be Scottish in descent. They'd be Irish, Scottish. They would also be some Norwegians. The United States was supposed to be what we were growing up and told to be the gold standard. And all we've ever done is perpetuate the hells and BS that has stricken every society to the point such as the Roman Empire falling, the Egyptian Empire falling, not in that order, but they fell all because of the same things we're doing now. And that is such a strong thing from the mouths of people who can actually see what's going on, that they call this the United States Empire, or the Empire of the United States. They call this an empire because they see it. It's more than obvious. We won't be around when this country falls. We will not. At the same time, I'm conflicted. I wish I could be around to see it, and I'll be glad that I'm not. I'm conflicted in that. This country could be great in a matter of 2 years. All it takes is 2 years. And how to do that is simple. I will be honest with you, it's simple. But the problem is people don't want to listen to things that they don't already believe. It's not about what they know. It's not about what you or they can prove. It's all about what they believe and how they feel when they are hearing the person that they believe in. If they believe in Fox News, it doesn't matter how much you decide as someone that's progressive or old school Democrat. And I'm not saying old school Democrat is a establishment Democrat. No, because old school Democrats believe in the same things that so-called progressives do today. But these people, they'll listen to Fox News, and Fox News will say, hey, the inner city people, they're coming in, and what they happen is they trek to white Christian neighborhoods and they vandalize it. So the people that believe in Fox News already, what they're going to do is they're going to, you know what? That's true. They are. These minorities, they're going to believe it. And they're going to say these minorities come in and they're just ruining our white societies and things like that. And this can spread for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But in all of that time, immediately, the same day that stuff comes out, do you know that there will be people? It will be Young Turks. It will be me. It could be Prophet of Zod. It could be Conquering Thought. secular talk. It could be Benjamin Dixon. It could be Bernie Sanders and anyone from any group of progressives or free thinkers or whatnot saying, that's not true. I mean, look at your little white suburban neighborhoods. Look at all your little cul-de-sacs and stuff. Really? It's been, let's say it's been a year and they're still spreading this stuff. Let's say, has any black person or Mexican or Asian person come into your home or into your neighborhood and spray painted everything? Really? Has that really happened? No, but it's happening somewhere in the country because it's obviously being reported, so it's obviously happening. And they believe it because they feel. And that's what destroys societies. People go on a feeling, not a knowledge. It's a feeling. Do you feel good when you take the drug? Of course you feel good. But it's escapism. And most drug users know that. It's the ones that aren't using the drugs that are not in their right mind. So you can't take a drug away. And Benjamin Dixon was talking about Alex Jones and the left trying to defend his free speech, the free speech absolutists. And I'm like, look, the free speech absolutists, I'm going to be honest with you, y'all are fucked. Y'all are ruining everything that the left is working for. While Alex Jones is still out there screaming to his 20,000 or 20 million plus fans that people on the left are trying to rape their children, are crisis actors, are coming to your schools and shooting them up, how they are allowing terrorism to take place. You're out there saying he should be able to say that stuff. It's okay for him to lie and spread these falsehoods, saying that leftists are supporting terrorists. I mean, okay, let's say this. I'm going to just debunk one thing real quick. Leftists are supporting terrorists. Then here's how this works. When you support a terrorist, that means you know that they do stuff, that these people are going to do some bad things. And despite knowing that, you will give them some kind of aid of some form. And usually it's to get something in return. So while there's no proof of anyone on the left wing supporting any terrorist willingly, might I add, not just willingly, but willfully. On the right, Chevron has supported terrorists from what has been reported, giving Saddam Hussein at the time while he lived lots of money for cheaper oil during a time, might I add, where oil prices were going up. So go figure that. At a time where prices were going up. And they knew Saddam Hussein had his militias and whatnot that would strike terror amongst his own people and possibly around the world. They gave him lots and lots of money. And they knew what he might do. Not exactly what he would do, but the atrocities that he is not opposed to committing. And they gave it to him. And Chevron, big oil, supported by what? The GOP, because they pay the GOP to do whatever they want. And that's how that works. So when you go on Alex Jones, people listen. Alex Jones masterfully speaks with that church reverend kind of tone, yelling and hollering at the top of his lungs, and he can say anything he wants because the people are wrapped up in the feeling that he's giving them, and they hear those words and they stick with it, especially since Alex Jones decided after losing some people a few years ago to the crap that he was saying to start espousing religion, espousing God and all this other stuff. That's why he does it. It's masterful. It's manipulating the stupid. And that's really what capitalism is. You must manipulate the idiots to gain as much money as you can before the smart people smarten the idiots up. But the problem is the idiots are so doubling down on being stupid. It's literally dragging you are literally trying to drag a dehydrated person to a river to drink fresh water. And they are kicking and screaming the whole way that they don't want any of your water. Keep that in mind. Because if you're not on, whoever gives them this feeling, if you're not on that side, then you're not on their side. And if you're not tribal on their side, you can't reach them. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to lower your standards and be exactly as they are and talk the same talk that they are, the right wing, the conservative talk, just to get a foot in the door to change some people's minds against it? Because it's not going to happen. Because once you join it, you're in it. You can't infiltrate it and then not be a part of it. That's not going to happen. That's pretty much like the Justice Democrats. Justice Democrats have gotten some great wins over the little bit of time in this gear. They have gotten some victories. Important ones, might I add. Critical victories. The problem is, it's still divided. That's the problem. So while everyone, all the right wingers and those who would be left, you need to think about this. Those Democrats, people on the left that believe in God, that believe in all that religious stuff, they'll side with people on the right just because it's God. That's it. Just because it's God, they'll side with them. So, I mean, how do you fight that? Because the right wing already got the majority. Now they're going to take part of the left because God. So keep that in mind when you go into these websites like Brand New Congress and other stuff. Because are they really trying to unite us? Or are they trying to make a buck off of us, always asking for money? We're asking for money too. We're also asking for accountability. Where is it? Where's our money? You know, do you want to spend $1,000 to speak to someone and they not listen to you at all? Except, I hear you, brother, and I'm right. Do you want to spend $1,000 for that? Do you want to spend a lot of money on their accounts and they're not trying to help you? Because you can give them $15, $3, $20 every few months or whatnot. But if you send them an email and you legit ask them questions and you really want them to answer, are they really going to answer? Because honestly, I've sent quite a few already. I've got nothing back. Send to this email address. I sent it. Send to the emails that come in to my email. Just reply to it. Nothing. So officially, unofficially, and anything else, I get nothing. I got a like on Twitter once, but who's not going to like it when you give them a glowing review or speak great of them? They'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll tweet this because it's going to make me look good." But are they going to do anything that's going to help you be better? They're not going to answer. I mean, they just not. So Benjamin Dixon, I would like to say he was going out of his mind. He wasn't. He's just finally bathed in the truth. And yet, as much as he's going on it, I got to close this with something bad. I done got to, but I'm gonna. While he talks about progressives and leftists and how we got to work together and stuff, his whole thing is join the Progressive Army. When you go to Progressive Army, you go to their website. It's very cherry picked about basically people who've already made it or are making it. They're not trying to add people to their list that's on their side. May not have the same rhetoric like mine. Mine can get very extreme, but you don't see it up there. I could ask to be a part of it. I've submitted something once. Like submit your name if you want to join the Progressive Army. I submitted it. Comparative reasoning. What's your real name? Sidra candidate. Yada yada. Nothing. And then now that part's gone. I have to check to see if it's back. It's been about, I don't even know. It's been about 7 or 8 months. So I remember it just being cold outside. It was always freezing outside. It hadn't hit spring yet. So we'll just have to see. So that's really all I got. Help progressives out and try to unite the left. The right is united in hate. Despite the little 28 people that showed up, they showed up. The left showed up just to say, you're Nazis, we hate you. And that's great. But we need the left to show up in droves, online and offline, in one party. We don't need these little pieces inside of Democratic Party that doesn't like us, that's all trying to get the money. We need our own party, and that's why I espouse for it. This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.